everyone, and welcome back to the Sam and Billie Show with me, Sam, and my gorgeous sister Billie. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are you feeling, more to the point?
Do you know what? I actually listened back to our podcast last week, and I realised how tired that I actually sounded. I am actually exhausted. Like, last night, my sleep was horrendous. Like, I can just see it. Well, I've tried to put as much concealer on as I can, but you know, when you just feel, I'm just tired. It's like the sleep deprivation is real. But yeah, I'm okay apart from that. I'm okay. So also, can we just talk about how cold the weather was this morning? It was like snowing here. Not pure snow, but like
I know.
sleet.
Same here. Sleet. We've got sleet, and the worst thing about it is that so we're filming the finale for the show today, and we've got to go to the house, and basically we're doing like a grand tour. It's like the nans and granddads, like mum, dad, because they haven't been in the house for ages, and like Greg's dads are coming over, and we're having like, we've just got like some prosecco, and we're ordering like pizzas. We've like got a little makeshift table in there because we thought, it's going to be sunny. We'll do like a little cheers to the house. It's freezing. It's so cold.
It's 4 degrees over here. And you know what? My kids are quite lucky actually, because it's half day today, half term, and they get to wear what they want. So little Paul's put on this Super Mario onesie. It's like a pajama onesie. It's like all cozy. You know, that like fluffy material. So he's all
Is that
good.
what you got, Arthur?
Yeah, I got Arthur one for his birthday. So he chose to
so nice.
He's gone in fancy dress.
Brilliant, don't blame him.
Yeah, I know. So how's Nelly feeling?
But yeah, no, much better. Yeah, much better. She's been back in school this week.
Good.
I think, do you know what? It was just, I think it's like a 24-hour bug, one of those kind of
Definitely.
things.
It's been going around our schools as well. So it's definitely a 24-hour bug. Yeah. So many kids have gone down in the last few weeks with it. Touch wood, thankfully ours haven't. Actually, Big Paul had it. Big Paul had like a 24-hour sickness bug. Yeah, it just came on him. Like, he'd done football that night, got home, was so ill for like 24 hours, and then was fine again.
24, yeah.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? So much about.
So much about. So how exciting then. You got the finale of your series. So how long have you been filming for? Because I think the listeners are always quite interested to know, like, actually how long it takes, because it is a lot. A lot goes in.
It's a long old slog. So we've been filming since November. We've been filming since November last year, 4 to 5 times a week, and we finish this Friday. We've actually got master interviews to do in a couple of weeks' time. You know, like the final ones, and that would have been 6 episodes done, but. Next series is the big one. So next series is 8 episodes. So I'm like, that's going to be,
But do you know what?
It's like you come towards the end of a series.
Yeah.
And you're a bit like ready for a break. Like ready just to.
But also
have
you need a break, and you
like,
also
it's
need.
only 4 weeks.
Exactly. And I also feel like when you come to the end of a series, you need that time to actually to live life, to create more storyline. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're filming all the time, it's like the cameras are there every day. You're like, 1 minute, I need to live for a minute, so then we can make some more storylines.
And also, it's even things like, I said to Greg, obviously, you know, they're following the whole house renovations on the show, like they're filming, you know, everything going on. But sometimes you just need to get all the boring stuff done as well. Like, you know, just, I don't know, sorting things out, like, we're trying to sort out a gas meter at the moment, a bigger gas meter. You know, it takes hours because you can't get through to these people at the moment either.
You can't. It's a nightmare. I'm really excited though, because do you know what? I was watching the episode last night. I was laughing so much when Greg said, "Oh, if you've got any questions for me," when he was getting his hair transplant. And then he went, "Yeah, I would just like to know when I can make love again." I was like, that is so unnecessary. Like, as if Billie cares. Well, I don't know, but I was thinking,
it's
Billie
so
cares.
unnecessary. And
that's all she's thinking about right now.
Please listen to this. And listen to this. Sorry, 1 minute. Greg, can you get out? He's talking in the background while I'm trying to film and record a podcast. Sorry. Right, so you know I vented and ranted last week about the press headlines about Greg skinny dipping in the pool.
Yeah.
I wake up this morning, Google alert, wait for it.
Not more.
Billie Fair's husband, Greg, says his wife will be devastated by 14-day sex ban.
I'm sorry.
We had a full-blown argument in bed about this at 6:30 this morning, right?
You woke up to that.
So I woke up, looked at my phone, because obviously after the show's on, sometimes, you see the next day or the press headlines. I've got loads of emails come through. I'm looking it's like a few different articles. I went to him. I was like, see what I mean? I was like, for God's sake. He was like, I'm just being myself. It was. I mean, obviously, I do get that. They twist things, and we know that's definitely not the truth. Devastating. like it's just so silly. And I was like, once again, I said, you have got us into this trouble now. I said, now these other silly headlines.
It is funny though. Do you know what though?
I was just like,
that headline I think would make people a little bit like, oh, what's that about then? Let me tune in and have a look at the family diaries. Yeah.
Well, this was Greg's argument. He went, well, he said, it's good press for the show. He said, people might then go on and watch the show if they see that headline.
Well, also as well, I guess you would rather have some headlines than no headlines at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I know what you mean. When I was watching it, I was like, Greg, that is so unnecessary. Oh, but also
so silly.
I've never seen that needling before. I couldn't believe that, and I'm absolutely fine with needles. Like, that's not a problem for me.
Yeah,
and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, because they go in so deep, don't they? When they're numbing the skull.
And when you think of your head, right, there's not a lot of fat around. Like, there's no fat really around your head,
unless you're one of them like people that have fat head. Do you know, like some people like. You're like Dad, for example. Dad's not got a fat head. He's got actually quite a skinny head. But have you seen that Dad has this like fatty bit here, doesn't he?
Yeah, like a
pouch.
Yeah.
So anyway, how is his hair? Get him on. Let me have a little look.
Greg.
I want to tell him. I want to have a look at his hair.
It's like he's waiting for his moment on here today.
Do you know what? Paul's floating about somewhere. I'm surprised he's not popped over.
Samantha wants to see the results.
You can't hear me, can he? Oh, it looks
good.
You
can still see that there.
It's looking really good.
Comes through now, though.
Can you see?
Yeah, these bits have completely, like, these bits here have all come back.
Yeah. It's just like,
the receding.
This is a bit...
It's coming through though.
Yeah,
it's starting to come
Samantha's
through.
saying it's looking really good, and it's coming through here as well. It's
looks
like little
really
sprigs.
Good. Sprigs. By summer you'll be flying.
She said, by summer you'll be flying. Yeah. Do you know what really made me laugh in last night's show? Because we always talk about how Mum's all of a sudden got this luscious hair. Yeah. I think definitely because Mum went, before you have hair as long as me, and then Mum done like a hair flick. Yeah. And it always reminded me of like a shampoo advert.
Yeah. What is it? Is it L'Oreal? Yeah, one of them adverts.
Yeah, like she's worth it.
And it was really good. Anyway, I watched it. The kids were really funny as well. Nelly, where Mum went, "What are you up to then? Like, what are your plans?" And she was like, "Well, I want to get you a boyfriend."
I know. No, that night when we filmed that scene, she was on fire. But she was almost. I don't know. She was a bit like overexcited. I think that night, and I had to say, calm down a little bit, because she didn't stop talking for like 2 hours. Like, like it was. Yeah,
I think she gets that from you and Mum.
Yeah, nattering away.
Right, guys. So on this week's episode, we are going to be sharing some of your funny birthing stories. We want to make this kind of like a regular thing, don't we, on the podcast? Because we had a few in over the last couple of months, and it's just brilliant hearing from you guys. We've got some voice recordings and some stories to read out today.
Voice recordings.
I know, voice recordings. I can't wait to hear the voice recordings.
Me too. So if you can all remember, a while ago, Samantha and I spoke about our own birthing stories, and we both was speaking about how Greg and Paul really irritated us while we was in labour. I think Paul with his heavy breathing, Greg eating the beef hula hoops. I remember, I don't know what it is, but when you're in pregnancy, your senses are heightened, aren't they?
Oh, gosh. Oh, to the maximum.
Like, it was the weirdest feeling, like what your body does, isn't it? Yeah. And then I remember all of a sudden, like a beef smell, like slapping me in the face,
But
right?
you know what, though? Beef hula hoops are probably the worst one.
The worst. I remember, like, he was sitting in the corner, like, eating a packet of hula hoops. Can you remember?
But I was
like,
also thinking, but I remember thinking as well, Greg, how can you even eat these beef hula hoops right now?
well, like, yeah, like this is so intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so make sure you keep in contact, guys, and you can either DM us on the Sam and Billie Instagram, or you can send us an email to the Sam and Billie Show at gmail.com. So yeah, we want to hear from you guys a little bit more. Right, we should go into our first voice note. So let's listen to that.
Our first voice note is from a lady called Beth.
Hi, Sam and Billie. So basically, I was in labour with my son, and I was lying on the floor, sitting on the floor with my knees on the floor, my head like into the pillow of the sofa, like rocking back and forwards, obviously in pain and labour. And I just turned to my partner. I was like, "Get to the barbers now." And he just looked at us and I says, "Get to the barbers now. You need to go to the barbers now." And he was like, "For what reason?" I says, "You need freshly cut hair for the photos." And he was like, "What? Are you joking?" I went, "No." I went, "Go now." So off he went for an opening at 9 o'clock. Come back. And then, yeah, so on my photos, the first photo that he's holding my son, he's got lovely short back and sides. And then we've done the same with my daughter. When I went into labour with my daughter, went to the barbers again. I was sat in the barbers actually sitting waiting for him to get it done this time. And I was getting contractions during him getting his hair cut again. So for both our children, he's got lovely fresh short back and sides. For both our photos of we welcome our children into the world.
Short back and sides. Can I just say though, right, that is obviously a little bit extra, but those first baby pictures, they go down in history. Like you get them out all the time. Do you know, like the ones where the dads are holding the baby for the first time, and you are as well. You've just given birth, or I do understand, like.
But also, how about the photos that you see of like mums just given birth and they've got like the perfect blow dried hair?
I don't know how
they've
that
got
is
some
though.
Makeup on. Like,
How?
Both of ours are very like raw. You know, you can still see some blood on the sheets. Like, the hair's like up
God,
here.
my face as well, like swollen and like from all the like pushing and the trauma. I know that is crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I always remember once, I think I think it was Paul or Rosie, I can't remember. I hadn't long had my nails done, and I remember looking back at the pictures thinking, "Oh, my nails look good."
Yeah.
Well,
Do you know
holding
what?
the baby.
If there was any prep that I could, like the only prep that I would probably want for giving birth is just to make sure my toenails and nails are done. Anything else I don't care
everything
about.
else, yeah, you don't really, do you? That is
No,
funny.
but
She's in labour and she's like, "Go and get your hair cut. You need your hair done for the pictures." Do you know what? Though? I've got to be honest. So, Paul put on a little bit of weight. Remember, he lost all that weight, didn't he? Done really well. Lost like 2 stone. Was training every day. He kind of got out of that cycle, and as you do. Anyway, in January, he started going back to the gym again properly, and I was like, just think, when the baby's here in spring, you're going to be able to have like your shirt off, skin to skin with the baby. You're going to feel amazing. that time is creeping up though. I'm not sure if he's 100% where he wants to be, but I guess it feels a little bit better. Them pictures are important, guys. They're important, them pictures.
They are. You're right. They do come out all the time, don't they?
But you know what as well? Another little tip as well. If you're like a first-time mum and you're booking in your like baby pictures, do you remember we've always had ours done quite soon after, although you don't really feel like it. They say that when you get your baby pictures done, if you get those like nice professional ones, get them done within 2 weeks, because after 2 weeks that newborn baby changes so much. And it's so true, isn't it?
And they're also a lot more awake. So I remember we took Nellie to have her newborn photos, and she was about 4 weeks. And can you remember Nellie was the baby that never slept? Remember, like, she literally would catnap for like 20 minutes and she'd be up all the time. Even Mum used to be like, I've never known a baby to be so awake. And I never forget, me and Greg, so we took her to this photography studio to get the baby newborn photos. It took us 6 hours to get her into a deep sleep, right, before he could even start shooting.
It's impossible.
It was so hard. I was just like, this is crazy, but it's worth it. It's one day, isn't it? You got to just stick on in there for them lovely photos.
It is worth it. Right, so next up we've got a voice note from Chelsea. Right, here we go. I just saw the word farting.
Hi Sam and Billie, love listening to your podcast every week. My funny labour story is just under 2 years ago when I got taken into being induced. I was 10 days over and I'd been in for 2 days and nothing was happening. So on the third day they finally took me down to the labour ward to get things moving. And the first thing they done was to check and see how far along I was dilated. So before we had even kicked the ball, she obviously does as they do to check how far you're dilated, and I farted on her hand. So we were in for a long labour.
It's hilarious. Do you know what though, Chelsea? Everyone's been there. And do you know what as well? They don't really tell you when you're giving birth, like if you have a natural birth, when it's that comes to the crunch and you push for like you're having a poo, don't you? It's like
You do. You push through your bum.
You push through your bum. And I think it's really common for women, mums to be, to poo, isn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Well, it didn't happen to me,
like,
but I think it's really common.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you do, especially if you have like that. You know, sometimes during labour you have that where you feel it all in your bum.
Well, like both babies, I felt like I was going to poo, but it wasn't. Thank God, it actually wasn't. But then I think
because the pressure, isn't it?
It's the pressure.
Like that pressure is
because you're not used to it. I don't know. It's just.
But also, although it seems mortifying to you at the time, these midwives are amazing. They have seen it all, haven't they? They've heard it all. They've seen it all.
Exactly.
Nothing phases them.
But I also think as well, like when you're in labour, even people listening to this that maybe are pregnant or even haven't had a baby yet and thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. Honestly, at that point, you don't really care because you're just in your zone. You're like, I've got to get this baby out. Like, you don't really think I'm mortified, do you? It's kind of...
No.
But then
I
afterwards
think,
you'd laugh. Like...
I think it's funny because like a fart, everyone laughs at a fart, don't they?
No matter where you're from in the world, a fart is hilarious.
Can we just quickly, I know that we always see this going off, but what about when me, you, mum and Nan was in Selfridges the other day and we was in the dressing room
And that woman
walked past and farted really loud.
That was the most bizarre thing. But do you know what though? Do you know what happened to her? She didn't mean to do that. Do you know, like it's just one just slips out and
out.
She probably thought it was going to be silent.
Oh, don't! Me and Mum. I was like that to Mum. I went to Mum. Was that you? She went. No, was it? It was her.
No, because then I sort of missed it, and then I actually went. Was that a fart? Because I actually thought, no, that's not.
Yeah.
Because then I thought, did she fart?
That was really funny. Anyway,
farts are
off
funny.
we go again. Keep the birthing stories coming. I think it makes us all feel a little bit more normal with our birthing stories.
Exactly.
But anyway, talking about giving birth, Samantha, how's all your home birth planning coming along?
Good. So I actually had a midwife appointment yesterday. So now it's like every 2 weeks, isn't it? So it's like every 2 weeks. They just do blood pressure. Yeah. They like feel. I told you I don't like that feeling. They like really push, don't they? They like go down, like right down where your pelvic bone is. And they
do
like
like
feel
that,
for the head.
don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. And then she was like pushing the bum and anyway. So they done all that. They measure, done the baby's heartbeat. It's always, it never gets old, does it, when you hear that little heartbeat from inside? It's just the sweetest little, it's lovely. Just a real quick checkup, and then they just asked me how I am, and I was like, I'm good. I was like, just tired. I feel like a broken record, but this is literally like the stage I'm at now. I've got my birthing pool. Did I tell you that? I ordered it. It's been delivered. Yep. That's fine. So I've got all that ready to go, and what will happen is kind of what happened last time. When I had any feelings, Paul just set it up on the day. But maybe, I don't know what to do. Depending on the situation with the house and how we're getting on, might get him set it up a little bit before. Because remember...
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking, how did we fill that up?
So basically, yous were all boiling. I remember being in full-blown labour, pacing up and down my lounge. You, Mum and Gaynor were boiling kettles. You had every single hob on with hot water. You was just trying to fill it up.
Right, Samantha, you need to order like a hose attachment for your tap inside your house.
Yes, for the tap.
And a hose.
Because do you remember we didn't have that?
Yeah, because that...
Exactly, so we didn't have that hot water supply.
I know, we need...
So, Yeah, that was just a bit of a nightmare. And I always remember being in the swimming pool and every now and then, like a hot kettle would come in. Spring is right around the corner. That means it's almost time to pack away the heavy coats and bring out the colourful, lighter pieces.
And if your spring wardrobe could do with a bit of a pick-me-up, then you should give Stitch Fix a try.
We're excited to say that this episode has been brought to you by Stitch Fix, an online personal styling service for men and women.
All you need to do to get started is go to stitchfix.co.uk/Sam and Billie to take a fun style quiz, and then your personal stylist will hand select 5 items just for you in your colours, styles and preferred budget.
And we have a special treat for you guys, as usually there is a £10 styling charge. But if you sign up and schedule your first order using stitchfix.co.uk/Sam and Billie, then your styling charge for your first order will be waived.
So that means you can try Stitch Fix's online styling service for free.
It's so easy to use, everything gets sent straight to your door, and you get to try your chosen outfits on at home before you buy. You keep only what you love and send back the rest. I love that.
Get started today at stitchfix.co.uk/Sam and Billie to try Stitch Fix's personal styling service for free.
Again, that's stitchfix.co.uk/Sam and Billie, and if you keep all 5 items, you get 20% off.
That's stitchfix.co.uk/Sam and Billie. Hello.
I know, she said hello, you can't hear her.
I can't hear. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
To get the kids up.
Paper for the kids.
Yeah, they're on the thing. Paul and Rosie made Easter cards for their teachers today. They've left them. And you know when kids get
yeah.
they get devastated, and we was like, don't worry. Yeah, there's one says Rosie's teacher, and then Paul's got both the teachers. See
That's really cute.
I know, but this morning they're both in the car like, we forgot. And I was like, don't worry, Daddy will bring them.
So you've
right.
got 4 weeks off now. The kids got 4
Honestly,
weeks off.
4 weeks.
I can't. That's just 3 weeks. I could understand.
Well, it
4
doesn't.
weeks.
Well, but also as well, we've got 4 weeks off. We're moving into the new house, and then my due date is in 6 weeks. No, probably 5 or 6 weeks. So it's
Well,
like,
I tell you what, you can send them over to me for another weekend, or
I do
even
think I
any
need
day,
to-
really.
it could be any day. Because thank you, that's been really helpful. So I actually do said to Paul earlier, we was like, I need to ship them out for like 2 nights, just so we can
1,000,000%.
get some stuff done in the house.
Yeah, no, just send them over to me and come stay with me for a couple of nights in my crazy house.
Perfect. They'll love that. So you're off on holiday. I'm so jealous. Do you know what I would give just to have like this last little bit? Do you know what I'd give for 5 days on the beach? Like I am now with my big tummy just laying there like
I
that.
said to you, didn't
little
I, to
baby moon.
come, to book and come.
It's just
Are you
such
allowed to fly,
This
though, as
timing
well
that's
now?
happened, you're allowed to fly, I think, up to a month before
okay,
the
yeah.
doctors know. I probably would be able to, but because it's Easter holidays, the house move, it just
Timing.
doesn't seem like, I don't feel settled in. I don't know, but if I could click my fingers and be there, then I would. Don't you just think like actually travelling?
Yeah,
now, I feel a bit shattered and exhausted. But anyway, I'm gonna be so jealous of you on the beach.
Do you know what? I'm really looking forward to the break. We was really umming and ahhing whether to do it because of obviously so much going on with the house, but it's kind of worked out
Yeah.
okay because our builder is away on holiday the same time as us. So we
that's
booked it
good.
quite last minute. We've got a 4-week break now. Well, at the end of this week, we've got 4 weeks off until
filming.
we start the next series, which obviously isn't very long, but we just thought let's get a little break in before all the madness starts again. So yeah, I'm really.
But
looking
also,
forward
you
to
just
it.
need it. Like you've been so busy with filming and the house and all your other work commitments and everything else in between. It would just be nice to switch off for a few.
Yeah.
What are you going for? 10 days.
9 nights.
So nice.
But also said to Greg, I
So
think it'd be nice
nice.
for the kids. Like I feel like at home at the minute in this house, it's so full on with me and Greg constantly on the phone and this that. You know, like it would just be nice to have some quality time with them rather than all the rushing and the sorting this out, sorting that out. You know,
Yeah,
just
you're
to
not
have-
like, I can imagine you're so busy, you're not like 100% present with them
Yes,
at the moment for
exactly.
everything. And you can go on holiday and just be like all for them.
Well, this is
Yeah,
it.
they'll love
yeah,
that, won't they?
exactly. I said I think it's yeah. It would be nice just to relax for a few days. Although Greg's got other plans. He went to me last night. I'm going to get an itinerary together. I was like, right, okay.
Oh, just what you need.
I was like, okay. I was like, it would be nice to relax it. Right,
You should. I hope that itinerary doesn't include me.
No, yeah. Does that include me just laying on the sun lounge with a cocktail? No, he's like, right, we're going to go Wolves Park this day, theme park this day, this day. But, I mean, to be fair, like we did say, because the kids haven't been there for years, so we was like, let's do some fun stuff for them, because there's so much to do out there for kids now, isn't there?
So much. And when I went in October last year, we done quite a lot of family kind of fun bits, so I can send you a little list of things that we done as well.
Yeah, please do.
So how was the garage clear out? I'm interested to know what's been chucked, what's been kept. What did you find that you didn't expect?
Well, that Peloton's still in there at the minute. Actually, I said to Greg, I was like, where's that Peloton going in the new house? But no, clearing out the garage was really good. We got rid of, so we had 2 vanfuls of just rubbish, junk, like 2 full to the brim, like just stuff which is no good. And then 1 van full went to the charity shop, to Haven House charity shop.
Oh yeah, good.
And that was, and then it still feels really full in there though, because Greg was like, thought I was going to get my gym back. 'Cause remember before we had kids, that garage was like his mini gym.
I remember.
Anyway, it's still quite full in there, but it's not, if that makes sense. But I'm trying to think, it was just like loads of things like brought back memories, like things from the wedding, like the hats. We was laughing because I took those cream suitcases that we had on the hen doing at the wedding.
I've still got mine.
Yeah, well, I took 2 of those to the charity shop because I was like, I need to get rid of them now. Like, it's time to get a new one. And we was really laughing. We was like, these suitcases have been everywhere.
Everywhere. So many memories. I've still got mine actually. Do you remember, we actually, on your hen do, we all had everything matching.
Didn't
From
we?
the airport outfits to suitcases to
Swimwear.
t-shirts, swimwear. That was pretty epic.
Oh, wasn't that just the best? Oh, that was the best hen do ever.
I actually think it was the best hen do ever.
You're like, thank you very much.
No, obviously everyone, no, it wasn't just me that organised it. Everyone chipped in, but it was a really good hen do. No, because what happened was, I think, because there was such a hype when we was out there. Do you remember, there was paps everywhere, and it was a bit annoying, but also quite fun because we've got all them funny pictures of Snoggy Sue and you on the unicorn. It was like when we was out there, more opportunities were coming to us when we was there. Do you know what I mean? Things just happened.
It was just brilliant. That was my last real girls' holiday.
Me too. Well, I had that girls' trip in Paris recently, but I'm far too pregnant. It was not the same.
It's not, no, and you're pregnant, it's not the same. I think, I know we talk about this all the time, but please, this year it's not going to happen, but next year, please, can we do a girls' trip? Even if it's September, so the baby will be a year and a half. Let's do a girls' trip next year. We should start planning it now. Just have something.
We should, because then we've got it to look forward to. Everyone can make sure they've got their babies and kids sorted out. Everyone's got kids. Do you know what I mean? We can just really plan it properly. Oh, we need it. We should go further afield. We need to go to Vegas.
Let's go Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby. Right, guys. So as you know, we always want to hear from you on the podcast. Topics, questions, anything, just DM us. We've had a few diamonds sent in recently, so I thought I would read one out. So let's have a little look. This one is from, it's anonymous. So, I have a daughter who is 7 and a son who is 1. My family treats my daughter so differently from my son. She can do no wrong, and they tell me off for telling her off. My son gets none of this, and they tell him off for being naughty. It makes me so upset and angry. I just don't know how to address it, as we're a close family. Also, there's some real favouritism going on there between the grandkids.
Do you know what it might be? Sometimes the first child, and then it's
first grandchild.
And then maybe they're all being where she's quite a bit older. Maybe they're all just being a little bit. But also, I feel like with that kind of thing as well, you just have to be honest. I would, if that was Nelly and Arthur with Mum and you, I would have to say, why do you always
pick on him? Or why? But you know what gets me? Do Do you know what gets me? Like, I do think grandparents sometimes might have their little favourites. Like, I do sometimes get that. But for it to be so obvious that this lady's had to even write in to say that it's like, you know, it's making her so upset. Like, how can you be that obvious? These are children, like, and also they're your family. So even if one child is naughtier than the other, or one child you do bond with a little bit more, maybe spend a bit more time with that child that you're not bonding with so much.
Yeah,
and
make the effort.
make the effort. I just think that's so mean. Like, they're children at the end of the day. Like, and obviously now that little boy, so the son is obviously going to be feeling rejected. So that's going to cause knock-on effects. You know, I think you should just be honest.
The more he feels rejected, the more he's probably going to rebel against the family as well. Like, if he doesn't feel like his
fuck
children,
you. You can imagine, can't you?
children aren't. Children are so like they get it, don't they? They know, like, if there's a bad atmosphere
they've got
around
like a
them,
sense.
I think my advice would be to be really honest and approach the situation. Don't bottle it up anymore. Just say to whoever the family members are, look, it's upsetting me. It's become very obvious that, you know, I feel like you're
treating them
picking on-
differently.
Yeah.
Treating them differently.
it's
They're
sad,
my
isn't it?
children. I want you to treat them the same. Like, it's making me upset. I don't like it. Or like, why? Like, what's? Yeah, that's not nice. That's awful, really, isn't it? Not a nice situation to be in. Anyway, so we've got another dilemma. How long do you think you should be in a relationship before popping the question? And what are your thoughts on the girl proposing to a guy?
I don't think there's any time limit.
I don't think there's a time limit at all.
You're like, well, I definitely don't think, you know.
Well,
nearly. How long have you been
8 years.
8 years, 3 children. No time limit for me.
No time stamp there, guys.
Actually, get Paul back on a minute. Get Paul back.
He's gone on the school run. Yeah, I know. Imagine putting him right on the spot. Yeah, no. So me personally, I like the traditional way, but you do whatever you want to do. Like, you just don't know. I feel like life is too short to ponder and wonder, and if you want to propose to your boyfriend, and do it. Like, if you really, like, for me personally, I would always want Paul to propose to me. I'm quite traditional that way, but that's not to say that it couldn't be as special with the woman doing it, you know?
Yeah, I think, like, it's each to their own, isn't it? I'm the same as you. I personally, I would never have the guts to propose to someone.
No, that's really ballsy. Like,
it's
take my hat off to you.
And I think, and yeah, me too. And also, like, I suppose you want the man, because then, I mean, imagine, like, if you proposed to Paul, like, would he feel a bit like, oh, hold on a minute?
Do you know what would happen? I think if I proposed to Paul, it'd be like a Chandler moment. So in that Friends episode where Monica gets down on one knee to propose to Chandler, you've seen that one, and then he's like, no, then he proposes.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
I'm not proposing anytime soon. Yeah.
You know, but also I think with, like, proposals, I don't think there's necessarily a time limit. I think everyone assumes, like, oh, because you've been together a while, you've got kids, or when you're getting married. But actually, it depends on how you feel about marriage, doesn't it? You don't need...
Absolutely.
I don't think you need a ring on your finger and marriage to have commitment with each other.
I don't. I am in agreement with you, but some people feel really strongly about that, don't they? Some people feel really strongly that marriage is everything.
Yeah, and I do think, like, obviously, you know, when you're married, it is almost like, you know, if you've had children, you know, we both had children before marriage as well. Like, a lot of people don't. That's the thing. Everyone's beliefs, everyone's reasons are different, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Like, we had children before marriage. Some people wouldn't do that. Some people have to feel like you should be married before children.
Yeah, or if they fall pregnant, it's like, right, we need to get married, like, whilst they're pregnant. So then when the baby's here, you're all... It's lovely, look, to be married before you have children, I get that. And even on all the birth certificates and all the passports, everyone's got the same name. Do you know what? It's funny, actually, because little Paul said to me the other day, because the kids know that I'm Fairs. You know, they hear it a lot, or, you know, when I'm work and stuff, they know. And they know they're Knightley. And little Paul... really knows that now, and he says to me, "We need Mummy to be Mummy Knightley,"
Oh,
and I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yes, we do, son,
Oh,
Mummy
don't.
Knightley."
The surname thing is a touchy thing in my house with Greg. As we know, my Instagram is still Billie Fairs Official, but we actually
Fairs.
did try to change it to Billie Shepherd Official, but I don't know. I think then you can lose your, like, you know, because we're verified on Instagram. Apparently, you can risk losing it. So and then you have to apply to get it back. But anyway, I had to change my Greg like the other day. I could see he was like stewing on something. I was like, "What's wrong?" He was like, "How many times do you order from Amazon?" I was like, "Well, every day, basically. You know, like you run out of something. Oh, quick, I'll get on Amazon and get it." He was like, "Your Amazon account." He said, "I'm sick of seeing parcels turn up to the house Billie Fairs, so I've changed it to Billie Shepherd." He was like, "Are you Billie Fairs or are you Billie Shepherd now? Like, I don't get it." You know, like, I was like, okay.
I do think it's a tricky one when you're in the public eye, because for all these years, like, you know, 10, 11 years, you've been building up your profile and your name as Billie Fairs, and you get married, and will it throw it, will it not? But I think that's just a personal choice that you make, because I always think that. I think when I get married, will I just be Samantha Knightley? And I think, yeah, I think I might do, actually.
Yeah.
Like, just do a whole fresh... But then you do run that risk of... But then I think...
No.
Like, it's one of those things.
Do you know what?
I get it if you don't.
I wish I'd just done it straight away when I got married, because I don't know, like everyone was sort of advising me, "Oh no, you should keep your actual name," but actually people forget, like, and our surname doesn't really mean anything to us. Do you know what I mean? It's not like,
No,
I don't mean it
no.
like, oh, you know, does it? But like our surname, it's not like, oh, you know, we love that. That's us.
It's not like a family, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Because
just
mum's
not, so-
Wells, and it's all a bit disconnected,
Exactly.
really, isn't it? So
Yeah, I mean, if I was you, I would definitely just go straight over, and I think I need to. Like I say, it's just one of those things. Maybe I surprise Greg with it. On like,
yeah, that's a good idea. You should do it on one of your filming. Don't tell him. Actually, that's a really good one. This
Yeah.
could be one of your like filming storylines for the new series.
finally changed my name
Surprising
on
Greg.
Instagram and my passport.
Is it changed on your passport?
No, not yet. Because I remember I got my passport just before I got married, so it's my old surname. So I need to reapply and change it to my new surname. Must do that.
Right. Well, you must do that, and that could be a little surprise present for Greg.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so ask us anything. First question. If you could relive one party, which would it be?
Well, mine would have to be my wedding.
The first thing that came to my mind was your wedding. For me.
Yeah. Just all being there in the Maldives together, like on the sand, like just that whole...
On the
Yeah, I would-
sand, me catching the bouquet,
Yeah.
the band, the music. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
would be
definitely...
amazing. One day we'll definitely do a reunion there for sure. We have to.
Definitely.
Um,
Right, so next question. If you had Aladdin's lamp, what would your 3 wishes be?
oh,
We could be sensible here and go for the usual. We could make them really fun. Twist it up. 3 wishes.
one of mine would be to like pause time. So, you know, like you could just stop time for a minute and like, but you wouldn't
Get some stuff
age.
done.
You know, like get some bits done. Like if you could just go beep and like press a button, that would definitely be one of mine.
Yeah. It was a bit like the superpower thing we had before. Like, one of
Yeah.
mine would be, I think, to be like super fast.
Super
So, you know, like when
fast,
you need to
yeah.
get some stuff done, like makeup and like housework.
Yeah.
And what would our 3rd wish be? Gosh. To grow old gracefully with no wrinkles.
No, that would be.
I've been
the
looking at
dream.
myself recently. Honestly, I think you hit your 30s and you're just not as...
Ooh, it's like under the eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't even look at myself in here. Oh, it's not too bad, but I've got natural daylight on me today. But I'm tired. Do I look really puffy to you?
No, not at all.
I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of the bloat here,
no,
maybe.
not at all.
I feel a
You've
bit
got one of
lazy.
those rollers that they feel really nice.
No, yeah, no, I haven't got one. Maybe
Yeah,
I should get
that's
one.
just nice, you know,
to
like-
take out some of the
Just to
water.
like, even like somewhere just makes you feel nice. Last one. What's your most embarrassing moment? Oh, that's a good one. Let me think. Oh, I've got quite a few.
I've had quite a few, but do you remember when we was younger, that like kind of teenage years where you're like quite sensitive about like your body and stuff like that? And do you remember we'd all been on a banana boat with like these friends that we'd made on holiday, like guys, and there was a few of us girls. And I got off the banana boat and took my life jacket off, and I had a triangle bikini on, and both my boobs were out of the triangle bikini. Do you remember that?
Yes. And
You might not remember.
You know, of course I do. Yeah, you was
It
like,
always sticks with me.
But you were
I was
standing
like
there chatting away to
mortified.
me.
Chatting.
And I was like,
Yeah.
Samantha.
I was like, but like it's that age, isn't it, where you sort of you haven't really fully got your boobs, but you've got boobs.
Yeah.
I think it's like around the time when you're like
when you've got gnat
just
bites.
had your period. Oh, gnat bites. I remember that being like a young thing when I was like really embarrassed. But being older, I don't know. Like you don't really get as embarrassed as you get older, do you? Because you just think, oh, what can I do? It's happened.
Embarrassing. Do you know what's actually, this was a really embarrassing moment actually, and it's a similar story to yours. It wasn't on a banana boat, it was on one of those, remember those big triangle things you used to lay on and like hold on, lay on your tummy on the sea? Like a flying fish or something
Thrown
like
about
that.
like a rag doll.
So I was with Greg, it was like on one of my first holidays with Greg and a couple of his friends, and I was holding on. We all had these helmets on, so that was embarrassing already that I had to wear a helmet in front of him. You know, you've just got with someone, you're like, I'm really not feeling this mushroom look. Mushroom head. And I'm holding on, and the person behind me was Johnny G now, obviously one of Greg's really good friends, but at the time I didn't really know John. Well, tire side bikini bottoms, both of them.
Oh yes, I remember you telling
Both
me
of
this.
them in all the banging around on the inflatable thing on the boat. Both of them had come undone, and I was screaming for the guy to stop, because if I'd have let go, I'd have gone flying.
I was going to say, was your nunny out?
My
was you
whole
naked?
nunny- Can you imagine, right? Imagine a pair of bikini bottoms going like that, and you're laying on your flat. So imagine and John was directly behind me. My legs were obviously like that.
John's seen it all.
It must have been the most horrendous experience for John. I literally wanted to cry. You know, like when he stopped, I just flipped myself into the sea like a wow, and like quickly done them up. But like when you want to cry, where you're really embarrassed.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of mine.
So embarrassing. And even falling over, like I remember walking. Me and Paul had not long got together, and it was one of Louisa's parties. This is years ago, like before kids. And walking into one of her parties, I fell over. Like I tripped over one of her something happened, and I fell flat on my face.
Oh,
and it was a
that's
proper
horrible.
fall. And me and Paul had only been dating each other for a couple of months, and I remember because Paul's not really kind of like, he didn't like take the piss out of me. He was more like concerned. He sort of like, oh my god, you picked me up, like, are you all right? But I was so embarrassed because we just started dating.
That is just
But
horrible,
other
isn't
than
it?
that,
That
I can't-
feeling.
Isn't it? I mean, and there's always those like, the morning after the night before when you might have been drunk or done something or said something embarrassing. Pat pictures, yeah. I would have to think a bit harder about some real embarrassment moments, but there has been a few.
It's been a lot for me. Well, that's all we've got time for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We've got a short break next week, so we won't actually be recording a podcast, but we'll be back the following week.
We're going to hear all about your holiday and the Easter holidays. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.